What can a signature CC moment like this do to sort of just quiet the noise and give you guys a ton of momentum? I don't know that the noise is ever going to be quiet. This is what Caitlin does. She makes big
Watch the
shots.
coach's reaction when that question is asked. There's no sign of relief or excitement, just a calm, direct response aimed at people outside the locker room. Stephanie White had just watched Caitlin Clark hit a game-winning 31-foot shot with only 1.22 seconds left, giving the Indiana Fever a 78-76 road victory over the Washington Mystics. It was a huge win for a team that desperately needed it. But instead of celebrating the moment, White used the opportunity to push back against the criticism and outside talk. The question is, what is the noise that she's so tired of hearing?
It's number one, a lot of work that she puts in. Number two, it's been a rough go over the last, 18 to 24 months for her, and so she's finding her way.
The last 18 to 24 months have been very challenging for Caitlin Clark. With that comment, the coach quietly pointed out something many people have been avoiding. Clark missed most of the 2025 season because of a left groin injury, the first major injury setback of her career after staying healthy throughout college. Coming into Monday night's game, she was shooting just 37.7% from the field and 32.4% from three-point range, the lowest shooting numbers of her young career. This was far from the player who dominated college basketball and broke records at Iowa. Even during her struggles, one thing never changed: her ability to create plays for her teammates. The assists continued to come, but her shooting touch disappeared for a while. So when Stephanie White says Clark is finding her way, she isn't speaking in a dramatic or symbolic way. She's simply describing a former Rookie of the Year who is working hard to regain her confidence and rhythm, one shot at a time.
Steph, was that the play you drew up, or how much confidence do you have in Caitlin for that shot?
Well, Austin drew up the play. I mean, Austin does a lot of our into-game stuff, and it was what he drew up. We executed it perfectly. I think we've been in a lot of those end-of-game situations, and we've done a really good job of executing in those moments. And we got the shot, and C stepped up.
This is the part that deserves a closer look. After the biggest shot of Indiana's season, the head coach did not take any credit for it. Instead, she praised assistant coach Austin, saying he designed the play and that the team executed it perfectly. But that immediately led fans to wonder whether the play was actually meant for Caitlin Clark. Lexi Hull was standing completely open in the opposite corner, and the inbound pass almost got stolen. A Mystics defender even got a hand on the ball before it reached Clark. Clark later said it was the most open shot she had all game, and she admitted her hands were sweaty when she took it. Hull also said she was nervous and simply hoped the shot would go in. That leaves an interesting question: was Clark always the first option on the play, or did things break down and end up putting the ball in the hands of the perfect player at the perfect moment? White says the team executed the play as planned, but the replay makes it look a little more chaotic than that.
I say this often, and I think sometimes we take great players and certainly generational talent for granted. And what she did was incredible for us. She's going to have many more moments like that. I know she is. And we needed this one tonight.
We needed this one tonight is a simple sentence, but it shows how difficult the last few weeks have been for Indiana. This is not just a team trying to get above a .500 record, it is a team that has been dealing with constant pressure and criticism. It started with a tough 100-84 loss to the expansion Portland Fire. In that game, Caitlin Clark scored a season-low 6 points, made only one of her 7 shots, played just 22 minutes, and was taken out early. White benched her after only a few minutes in the first quarter, and by the time Clark returned, Portland had already built a lead. As Clark struggled, opposing teams began targeting her on defense, and criticism quickly grew. During that same game, a sideline conversation between Clark and White went viral, leading many people online to speculate that there was tension between them. Commentator Jason Whitlock even claimed that White and assistant coach Bonner January were intentionally holding Clark back. Clark strongly rejected those claims, saying, "I ride for Steph," and adding that White supports her more than anyone. That is why White's comment about needing this win matters so much. The game-winning shot did more than secure a victory, it helped silence the negative stories and doubts surrounding the team. Clip 4. Listen to how Stephanie White finished her message to the team behind closed doors: "It wasn't pretty. We still have a lot to improve, but great job." Just minutes later, she stepped in front of the media and openly praised Caitlin Clark. That difference says a lot about White. For weeks, she had been careful and reserved when talking about Clark, which only fueled rumors that there was tension between them. But after this win, she finally let her appreciation show. Calling Clark a generational talent and saying she would have many more moments like this sounded less like a coach managing the media and more like someone feeling relief. The truth is that this ugly win may have been exactly what Indiana needed. They did not play their best basketball, they struggled offensively, blew part of their lead, and had to fight until the final seconds, but they still found a way to win. Great teams are not judged only by their easy victories. They are measured by how they survive difficult nights when shots are not falling and every possession matters. Indiana came into this game at 5-5, without a road win since May 13, and with a habit of giving away leads. White emphasized the importance of key defensive stops, and that was the real difference. Even Clark, who had faced criticism for her defense, made an important stop late in the game. This victory was built on defense and one incredible shot. The debate about officiating also remains. Clark often absorbs heavy contact when driving to the basket, and many fans believe she does not get enough calls. While every star player deals with missed fouls, some wonder whether the league's biggest attraction is getting fewer whistles than she deserves. Regardless of where people stand on that issue, the discussion is not going away. Neither is the attention surrounding Clark. As White said, the noise may never disappear. When you are the most talked about player in the sport, every shot, every substitution, and every interaction becomes a story. One game-winning shot will not change that. What it can do, however, is rebuild confidence. Clark finished with 19 points, 4 three-pointers, and 5 assists on a night when she desperately needed to see shots fall. For a player who had been struggling from long range, this may be more than a game winner. It could be the first sign that her slump is ending. There will still be debates about White's decisions, especially when Clark spends long stretches on the bench. Some see it as smart management for a player recovering from injury, while others continue to question it. Winning quiets those conversations for a while, but it does not erase them. What it does do is challenge the idea that Clark and White have a bad relationship. Clark has repeatedly said White supports her, and their actions over the last 2 seasons back that up. The supposed feud has always seemed more like a popular storyline than reality. Looking at the bigger picture, the pressure on Indiana is enormous. The league is growing, competition is getting stronger, and expectations are sky high because Clark is leading the franchise. This win does not solve every problem, but it gives the team confidence and buys them time to keep improving. As for the final play, whether it was originally designed for Clark or whether chaos led the ball into her hands may never be fully clear. What is clear is that when the game was on the line, the ball found Caitlin Clark, and she delivered. Plays can create opportunities, but greatness is what turns those opportunities into unforgettable moments.